The city of Lagos
there is still a poor level of
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV News.
24-hour news station.
Thank you very much for standing the course with us on Core Digest this morning. And to remind us of the topic again this morning, it is impeachment fever. Who is after Al-Makura? The one that was before Al-Makura is Governor Murtala Nyako of Adamawa State. And of course, we learnt that impeachment notices were served to the governor and the deputy. And before we knew what was happening, the deputy actually put down his resignation letter. But after the impeachment, it also came out that the deputy came out and said that he was forced to resign, meaning the resignation letter didn't come of his own will. Another that came from ex-governor, now impeached governor of Adamawa State, saying that according to the constitution, the deputy submits the resignation letter to him as the governor. And as at the time the deputy submitted the letter, he was still the governor of Adamawa State. So why did the letter not get to him? Why was it submitted to the House of Assembly? Of course, all this we would trash out. And we heard the Edo State's governor, according to the papers we read this morning, and that of Rivers State, saying that Jonathan cannot do what he has done in Adamawa and what is going on in Nasarawa State, in these states. And we had a member of the House in Rivers saying, and that is the person of Magnus Abe, saying that such cannot be replicated in Rivers State. The question here is it now a party thing, or is it the constitution thing? Are we now saying that the accusation of gross misconduct is just a setup to this whole thing? If it's just politics, if this whole issue is between APC and PDP. Of course, doing justice to that topic this morning is Chuka Inabuife. He has been here with us on Newspaper Review, the dailies this morning, and he will spend the remaining time on Core Digest with us, and we shall be discussing this very topic. Thank you for standing the course with us.
Thank you.
Okay, let's begin from why all these fevers and saga coming at this time?
I wouldn't know the fever we're talking about.
Impeachment.
Yeah. We rather say that yes. In fact, for every elected officer, the fear of impeachment should be incumbent in his mind, or recall should be incumbent in his mind from the day he accepts that he takes office until he leaves, because that is actually there's a put out and there's a withdrawal. So you must know that when some people put you out, you understand you should also have it in mind that there could be a day you can be withdrawn. And impeachment is such, or withdrawal is recall is such a long, with rudiments that are not easily achievable except if you know the law and you follow methodically. I would want to resist a disease from taking the bandwagon. And that is where I feel journalism can help Nigeria. The media, actually. It's not just journalism, the media, including those who do citizen journalism. And unfortunately, most of the menace we have seen in these days have come from the so-called citizen journalists, online and co. Media can help Nigeria by making Nigerians know what democracy is. It is not a good story that almost over 1.5 decades after the Fourth Republic, we're still learning the ropes. We're still in nascent democracy. All this idea of impeachment from president or from that, can't we just probe the issues? Did the issues happen? The issues that were raised, did they happen? Are they impeachable offenses? Are the methods used according to the provision of the law? Where are the methods extra the system? That is, where are the methods out of the law? By the time you go there, is it even in the interest of the people? Are the representatives, due representatives of the people? These are more vital questions than pointing hands at Aso Rock or pointing hands at the governors. You make it a personality issue. In that case, you begin to make it more like a showboy outing. Jonathan versus Nyako, Jonathan versus Almakura, Almakura versus Jonathan. Now there's another one in the mayor, Oshomole versus Jonathan, and Amechi versus these are not the democracies. The issues in democracy. The issue in democracy is development, dividend to the people, what the people voted for, the issues they voted for, and how they got it. And are the laws taken care of, or are they obeyed? These are the main issues in democracy, not about finger pointing. If you do that again, as we have always done, we'll end up this party versus this party, and nobody wins in that case. You have seen how they move from party to party, the politicians move from party to party. It tells you that the one that is more favorable, the ones that actually gets the nod, the politician switches overnight, and he continues to enjoy from that end. These are not the issue. It's not about Jonathan or Nyako. It's not about Almakura or it's about the issue. It's about the law. It's about the allegations, whether they are founded or unfounded.
Yes, we will treat the issues of the allegations against these people. But is it coincidence? Is it just mere coincidence that President Jonathan was just around the week this impeachment process kick-started in Nasarawa State to inaugurate one Olafan? Because
even if he was in the house, even if Jonathan was sitting in the house, the issue in democracy is, did the people who are supposed to participate in the impeachment, did they participate? Are they lacking in number, in quorum? Are the issues on ground? Even if Jonathan was sitting in the house when it happens. Do you understand? That is not, that is an aside. Do you understand? Nobody sees how many people are with you in studio. They only see you when you broadcast. You understand? It's the ones that you want to see. This studio could actually be a virtual studio. It could actually be sitting in Oshodi Market. It's not the issue. Is it within the broadcast framework or the broadcast channel of Core TV? Do you understand? Is it what Core TV want to put out? The studio can actually be in somebody's bedroom. Those are circumstantial. Why do we dwell on inanities while the crust remains untackled?
You know, there have been protests in Nasarawa State as against what happened in Adamawa. Those who are opposed to this impeachment move of the House of Assembly took to the streets, and they didn't just take to the streets, gathering signatures and all of that for recall. But one of the lawmakers actually came out to say that we cannot be intimidated by anything or anybody. This process will continue. Question some are asking is, are these lawmakers not supposed to be the true representative of what the people want?
The people on the street, like we said when we were reviewing the papers, the people on the street are citizens of Nasarawa. And there's no how the number of people you saw on the street in those protests is more than the number of the people who didn't come out from Nasarawa. How many citizens do you have in Nasarawa? So it shows that there are people who are also for the governor, and there are people who are against the governor. Do you understand? Everybody has a right to express his side of the issue. But the issue is, assuming they say you appropriated money for a microphone, and I use it to buy a pen, and it is an impeachable, assuming the law says it's an impeachable offense, and that is what is stated by law. Did I take that? That is the main issue. I go and clear myself. It's not about whether it is Okwe or Ade that is accusing me for that. That is the circumstantial. That is aside. Do you understand what I mean? And in journalism, we talk about facts being sacred. It's not about information. We didn't say information is sacred. We said facts. And facts are based on what happened. based on what you saw. It's not about what you sense. Those are emotional statements. I want us to hit the ground running. Remember, let me give you an example with America. A lot of things, the Republicans have been saying as many things as they can say about immigration and about the so-called Obamacare, healthcare, insurance, and others. The latest was on the immigration. And somebody said, Obama did this. Obama said, if you want to file a case against me, go and take it to the law. When I go to the law court, I will know whether you can sue me for doing my job. It's not that he didn't say whether that is right or wrong. It is about the law. And the moment we begin to do, mind you, the ultimate of this democracy is not who is there. It's not which party is there or which party is. The truth is, you cannot make much issue about breaking eggs in omelette. Everybody knows that omelette is broken eggs. Do you understand? Everybody knows that Jonathan and Al-Makura are not in the same party and the parties are not friends. So there's no much you beat it. Everybody knows that APC and PDP are not fighting is in a fisticuff. Everybody knows that this is the politicians. Nobody is about politics. Is about getting power and doing it. And why should a citizen who is not benefiting from all this dwell much on that? Why would you invest so much energy to your own detriment of deriving something in saying this party is this and this party is not? Invest in getting the derivative from it. I am putting somebody to elect me for development, not to steal my money or to do what I want him to do. And that is the issue. Those are the issues that the impeachment offense are for. Whether it is APC emasculating PDP or PDP emasculating PDP, it's not. It's
but
not
could
the
it
money.
be that actually?
We are not. That is to me, as a journalist, and I practiced this field in this field for 27 years. As a journalist, those are extra issues. It could be, or it could not be. It could just be hearsay, because you don't have a fact, you don't have a proof. Or do you have a proof? Do you? If you do, tell me. It's just hearsay, and it is pandering to the whims and caprices of politicians. But the ultimate is in journalism. Don't you know that we have what we call developmental journalism? You understand? The interest of the people. The interest of the people. You say an armed robber, when caught, should be shot. If he killed somebody, the state will kill him. Why is it so? It is because we don't want crime to go on. And now you live about the crime and say, the person who caught him is not from his village. Is that the main issue? The main issue is that these people, he who goes to equity must go with clean hands. And we must begin to dwell on those things so that the citizens will know. In fact, the more the citizens know that they have power of recalling people, I have dwelt on this several times, the more the electorate know that they have power of impeaching people that they've elected, the more there is hope for democracy. And the more people begin to not deal with the people as if they don't matter, you just commit anything and you escape on the excuse that this party is victimizing me because they have the upper hand. What about our money? What about the things that we told you to do which you didn't do? It's escapism. It's pure escapism. And if the press begin to dwell or begin to join them in that escapism, they will go with a smack on the fist. Allow politicians to do their filibustering. Allow politicians to do all this. But let the citizen, whom the journalist has a duty to protect, let the citizen's issue be sacrosanct. Let it be prima. Let it be the main thing.
One of the offenses listed, actually the House listed 16 offenses against Al-Makura of Nasarawa State.
16, yeah.
One of it, I have two of them here, 13,250,000 naira, that is 13,205,000 naira, was spent for the governor's wife trip to Abuja.
Yeah.
And we have misappropriation of funds in local government joint account.
Good.
Now, just like the Adamawa State's governor who said the 6 billion naira I'm being taken up for, the House signed it. The House knew about it. I couldn't have done this on my own. Don't you feel we should put checks on the House themselves before we get to these people?
Let me ask you one question so that we'll begin to get this issue. Assuming these are all fallacy and these people have connived to rein him in and get him off the post. Let's assume this is politics. Could the governor also not be not help his case more if he takes an advertorial and do his explanation? Is it difficult for him to do that? Take an advertorial and do your explanation, even as you don't want to appear in the hearing, because they may be one-sided. And then, that is just one. Assuming these things are all concocted, assuming it is intended to bring you down, you understand? And you've seen what has happened in Adamawa, could you just not appear? And even in the appearing, blackmail them, because it could be in public domain. People are seeing. Blackmail them. You saw Ote appear in the House of Rep against Hema Hembe, and he's in the same house that Ote also brought the uncleanness of Hema Hembe's case. Is it not in public domain? Even as the House of Rep had their way, did Ote not have his way in your mind? Did you not see the impeachment of Peter Obi in Anambra by a house that was over 90% PDP as at that time? And did Peter Obi not come back? What are we trying to dwell on? These things are pure inanities. Journalists are actually helping the state to go bugaboo. We are actually trying to derail the organ, the people's direction. And the people's direction is development. The people's direction is political robustness. The people's direction is that we want these people to be accountable to us. And they are escaping with a smack on the wrist, because we are actually trying to pander towards the inanities instead of the issues.
Let's talk about the funds made available to individuals in power.
Yeah.
If we're talking about money in the tune of 13 million naira for a trip, and of course at the national conference, the legislatures have also been questioned as to how much goes to them and how much we spend on politicking in Nigeria, thereby advising part-time legislature.
Yeah.
Now, how as Nigerians do we work on these funds available, and we begin to talk about the joint account of the state and local governments? Of course, so many people have said so many things are solutions. I want to know what you say about this fund available to individuals in power.
Fund available to individuals in the executive, fund available to individuals in judiciary, funds available to individuals in legislature. You understand? It is available, it's up to all. And the basic explanation for fraud or corruption is not using what was supposed to be used where it is supposed to use, or not even using them at all. Or misappropriation. Thank you. So it is, the basic thing is, it's not about funds available. It's about judicial utilization of funds available as appropriated, as directed to be done within the framework of the law. It's not about the funds available. And then the projection, what the national conference put out, could be the yearnings of many people, including you and I. But that is still not the law until it becomes the law. Until it becomes the law. When it is not the law, it is a suggestion. When it becomes the law, the politician should abide by it, because it is the law that elects him. It is the law that he swore unto. Funds are available to political appointees and all the rest. Where else would those funds be? The appointees are people who are appointed to head the organizations. Except if we have another system whereby we have the funds being run, how do I use it? Automatically. Assuming I appropriate money for Ministry of Information. Once the money comes, there is an organ in the ministry, maybe the civil servants begin to use it, not reverting to political appointees who head them. In that case, we will now know how the duties will be delineated. But these funds, no matter how you do it, has to be available to the people there. Then you begin, if we want to stop it, we begin to look at the quality, the ethical standard, the kind of the kind of organs through which we bring people in, be it party, be it institution, You understand? Be it their education or qualification, be it their moral background. Because no matter how, it is these people who head the organizations that call the shot. They will either obey the way the funds are appropriated or disobey them. No matter how, it is a Nigerian that will head Nigeria. It is not a foreigner. So no matter how we try to escape, once the funds are to run the state, somebody who heads the organization will run it. Do you get it? It's not about funds. It's about the quality of character. It's about the quality of institutional framework. It's about the appropriation. Because I can actually decide to appropriate 50 billion for just one express of 4 million. And I will develop, if you have the clapperboard, I use the word clapperboard, the cheerleaders as citizens who are meant to believe that this party is right and this party is wrong, and I appropriate 50 billion for this road, I will come around and say I have built a road. Do you understand? I have built a road. And people are like, see, development is coming, it's building road. At what cost? But if I have the kind of followership that the press wants to encourage now, your followership, our people are good, the others are bad. You understand? Such appropriation will go as development, but it is actually robbery of the people. Funds must be appropriated based on what they are needed and judiciously. And people who are elected must be of good quality as to know that there's a limit between personal means and the people's collective purse, and know how to spend it judicially. But no matter how, you can't escape with whether it's a part-time legislator or a part-time executive. It is the same person who has it that will disperse it. And if he has a warped value, if he has this kind of value that we want to encourage, that once you belong to the right party that the public like, you can do anything and accuse anybody and the public will support you, they will continue to seal us dry.
Talking about the character of leadership, and you mentioned recall the other time, I want us to dwell more on it because elections are supposed to be the reflection of what the desires of the people. But over the years, we've had a history of elections being faulted, elections not free of allegations, not free, fair, and credible. And you hear people argue that it's a matter, politics in Nigeria is a matter of choosing between a better evil, where you don't have a choice than to choose from the candidates presented to you. 2015 elections are coming again, and we have elections, presidency, governor. How do we choose a person of character like you have spoken of? How?
People of character should go in, one, but institutions must also have character. I give you, and I say it pointedly, in case I have been running around it. You can never get something from, politics is more of, election is more of a game of political clubs. And I will explain. Just like use the sense of social club, committee of friends, for example, and they come and register and they move from committee of friends to a political party, and they go and register, and INEC gives them the authority to stand for election. And in a place like ours, where we don't have independent candidates, it's only those committee of friends, the number of committee of friends, in quote, or political clubs available, that will produce candidates. So we have about 50 political clubs, and it's only those clubs that will present people. No matter how you go, it is the same quality of people that form that club. From there, they will choose the people who will come for election. If you don't belong to any of those clubs and you don't share the same value, you will not get people who have the same value as you have to run for you, except if you're going to go through an independent. We have a law that permits independent candidates. One. Also, if we have the kind of people who believe throwing bombs is politics, killing people is politics, it means that you can never have people who will think of the sacrosancy of life. If you have people who do not believe that you must answer for the money that that is appropriated for you, that corruption, you cannot be questioned for corruption. Rather, they should question why should they question who is questioning you to question you. Then you must not have, there's no how you have people who are accountable in leadership. Because a thief, tell me any thief that you've seen, Even from childhood, when children go to steal from their mother's soup pot. This is the first time I did it. It is because this man told me to do. They will always have excuses. Oh, it's devil. It's not there that caused it. But the issue is, did you steal? The issue is, the money that the people appropriated, did you do it judicially? Is it how it was supposed to do that? That is the core issue. But if we have people who always will escape that and go towards, it is this party or it is this enemy that's doing it, we will have people who will not account to us, but they will account to their affiliation. Because what they are telling you is, it is PDP that's victimizing APC, or APC that is victimizing PDP. Until you have people who feel genuinely pathetic about a pathetic situation, who are very empathic about the people, who have the feeling that I shouldn't dip my hand into the public till, or I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't go brazen with power. Until you have those people, you will not have accountability. So it's not about politics, it's about the quality of people and the quality of associations, the quality of ethical standard in the association, the quality of moral upbringing of people that cavort within that is this aggregation called parties. We may get a better leave if we have independent candidates. We may get a better leave if we begin to encourage these parties to have internal democracy, so that some upright people can come up within their system, which is a very, very far shot from reality. But if we don't have those things, you should now look at the lesser evil, because that is what politics gives you. That is the reality on ground. The lesser evil within these political parties. And you just mentioned it. The opposition and this, tell me any one of them that has clean hands. Tell me any one of them that have clean people. Tell me any one of them that has clear internal democracy. Tell me any one of them that anybody who is a genuinely pacific person or a genuinely empathic person can come up without soiling his hands. Tell me any one of them where even appropriation within the party is not dubious. So it is not a pathetic situation for Nigeria. It's a situation for Nigerians. This is a time for citizens to begin to look for the little window of expressing what they desire. And the little window is expressing it that if you steal our money and anytime we have a hand to impeach you, we will impeach you irrespective of party you are. Then they begin to see that there's a place where people are looking for opportunities to get the right people. Else, if we go the way the reportage of this impeachment and and the projected impeachment shows you the sentiments within our media and sentiments within our populace. But that is not the real sentiment of ordinary Nigerian. We should celebrate it. We shouldn't condemn it, because it gives us a little window, and it gives us makes the people who are ruling us to have a chance that there's one day that we can pull them down, irrespective of how we do that.
But how true is the power to recall of the people? How true is that? The power, because you have people even saying that the House the houses all around, I mean House of Assembly now, do not really represent the people. How true, how realistic is this power to recall for the people, the ordinary man on the street?
I told you that the first thing to do in a democracy is for you to realize how democracy works. That the moment you go to the poll, you are electing a person, and once that result is called and that person there, he is ultimately your voice. That's how democracy works.
How reflective are these results of the people's desires?
Good. By the time you begin, and let me give you an example. By the time people begin to feel that there are checks and balances, if you go into an organization and you find out that if you felt that there is a memo or there's a sack, you begin to know that there are some things that can hold you. Do you get? When you begin things like this impeachment, even protests on the street when they are within the ambits of law, when people begin to have opportunities to resist a totalitarian or a dubious leadership, when people's way of expressing begin to get, then these people, the kind of people who will emerge, even the parties begin to look at the kind of people they put out to emerge. It is very difficult in the way we have done, because the political parties are full of people who, sorry to say, think more of themselves and think more of what they can do. It's more like a clique. You understand? So you can hardly have people who will vote for such people, they will only have their, how many people in a state where you have about 2 million people, and on the day of election you have 200,000 vote? Where are the remaining 1.8 million? You have a state, tell me a place, any state that has had up to 40% of the voters vote. And you know, even the people who registered as voters are not all the members of the community. It shows an apathy. So anything that gives the ordinary man a chance to extract a pound of flesh from the people who have been running him roughshod should be encouraged, because it is one step at a time. We go step by step to get to that place when the people will become king. Because democracy should be government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's not government of the parties for the rulers and by the party. No, it is supposed to be the people. So anything that gives the people a handle towards extracting a pound of flesh when people go should be. And this is the kind of methods we should encourage. The media should encourage to get us to where we are going, because we are far, far away from the promised land. In fact, we are even beyond Egypt. We are yet to get to Egypt before we get to the Red Sea and and head on our way to promised land. These are the kind of things that point us. We have long been ruled by Philistines, and we must find a way to get our handle out of it.
Well, you have the opinion that such processes should be celebrated.
Exactly.
Because if indeed you have nothing to lose, you should come and declare your innocence.
Exactly.
But people also question the process of the impeachment. Now,
what is about questioning the process?
If this is done the right way, people are asking, these governors did not just come into power in 2014. If we're celebrating this, the question is, who or why are we not? Some people have described it as a case of the pot calling the kettle black. Now, the question of who is impeaching who, some have actually gone beyond them. These people came into power as at 2011. Why didn't they have issues before the defection into another party? If impeachment is done properly, I think people do not have a problem. But now questioning the process of impeachment and how, do you think that is wrong at all?
It's like my questioning the process of your wearing your dress. What matters that you are beautiful in your dress. The process could be that you started by wearing your jacket before you put on your blouse, or you put on your blouse before you put on your jacket. It's not the issue. The outcome of it, what happened? It's not that they don't matter, but those are semantics. I gave you instances with Peter Obi. He was impeached. Did he not come back? Why? Because the people, he managed to make the people know and use the judicial process to get back. There's a judicial process. It may take time, but you will get back if you really are tenacious. Was Clinton not impeached? You understand? But he made a moral appeal to the people of United States of America. So the impeachment was not implemented. Do you understand? At the upper house where it's supposed to be. There are always processes. I gave you an example. That Almagora, for example, has a window, which Nyako did not explore. Okay, take your advertorial. Make your cases so clear. Leave it in the mind of the people and go to court, even if they go ahead to impeach. It's not about the people shortchanging themselves. I am telling you, it's for my own good and for your own good. Except if we have ulterior motives of helping the kangaroos. It's for your own good and my own good that we make the politicians know that the Americans have a say that every pig has a Matmos. Matmos is a festival in some part of Native America where they kill, they use pork meat. So every pig, the pig may be as robust as whatever, as fat or whatever, but on that day it heads to the abattoir for slaughter. If you manage to get these people to know that there's a time the people will extract their pound of flesh somehow, some way. Even the man who is participating in the impeachment process today of Almakura will know that he has a House of Assembly person. One day it could be recalled. It could be tomorrow. It could be immediately. Do you understand?
a governor was a beneficiary to Peter Obi's, two persons were beneficiary to Peter Obi's so-called impeachment then. But eventually he came back. Do you know where were they after? They had to go back and start again in another process. What we are saying is this is a leeway to the ordinary man if we are really sincere about the ordinary man benefiting from the democratic process. Allow the parties. There's nothing you preach to me, for me, or I preach to you that will make you get convinced that Jonathan and Nyako are friends. And there's nothing you will tell me, and I will believe that Nyako loves Jonathan or APC loves PDP. There are daggers drawn. But the issue is, let them go and bang their heads, but let development go for the ordinary man. And any ordinary man who is changing himself by all these inanities is actually playing to the rules of the political parties.
Thank you very much. It's been Chuka Inabuife as our guest this morning, and we're talking about the impeachment fever. Who is after Al-Makura? Could it be you? Well, if you're governor, you should check yourselves, and that is why we have checks and balances. And we're not done on Core Digest yet. We'll take a break to bring you the news on the hour, and we still have more to discuss. The treason against Murtala Nyako, the fact that he's nowhere to be found because the federal government, according to the papers, might be pushed to declare him wanted. This and more would be discussed on the second part of Core Digest this morning. Do not go away.
Core TV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733, 014-533-407. Our 24-hour news station.